Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stamping Up demonstrator. Today I have a colorful masculine card for you. I used the new Sale-a-bration stamp set, Well Dressed. You can get this for free with a $50 purchase. A lot of beautiful, dapper, gentlemanly images in here. And if you're thinking these colors look familiar, I was inspired by the Country Club Designer Series paper, all these beautiful colors and this argyle. So I kind of went off of this piece of paper. I was going to use this on my card, and then I just kind of decided to just pull those colors out. So as you can see, I have Night of Navy, Poppy Parade, Crushed Curry, and Garden Green. All right, I'm going to show you some tips on how to make this card using the Stamparatus. As you can see on here, I used our Stitched Rectangles dies. I'm going to be using these two, and the measurements of these two rectangle dies will be on my blog post for this card. Just go to the Visit My Blog in the description on the YouTube under the video. You'll see Visit My Blog. Just press that link. It takes you to my blog. You'll see additional pictures and other things that I can't really do in my video. And also you can find the measurements and the products I use not only in my blog post but also in that description underneath the video. So getting started here, we are going to put our stamp set there, and I used the Clubhouse stamp set for the happy birthday sentiment there, and that sentiment is easily cut out with this die that is in the golf club dies. So it has these two dies in here that are perfect for those skinny thin sentiments, so I was able to use that die with this sentiment, and it was perfect on this card. It was just a clean one, and I needed a narrow. I was only going to put one of the sentiments on here, but then I just started playing with it. I stamped all three of them and was trying to decide which color I wanted, and I thought I would just get a little fancy and put all three on there. So let's just set this aside, and we'll look at the pieces of cardstock we're going to be using. We're going to be using the Night of Navy for the card base, and that's 5.5. No, it isn't. This is 5.5, and this is 8.5, and we're scoring that at 4.25. Now, when you're using this largest rectangle that is in the stitched rectangles, you're going to cut off 1/4 of an inch so that when you fold over, I find it easier than cutting this 8.5 down. I just go ahead and cut it leave it at 8.5, score it at 4.25, close it. Then I put it into my paper cutter, and I make sure that this width is 4 1/8 inches instead of 4 1/4 inches. And then it just makes this die fit on there nicely with a nice equal border all around all four sides of it. Okay, so just make this after you've cut the card to your measurements. Just cut this width from where it folds to where it opens. Make it 4 1/8, and then this is still 5.5. So I'm going to have a sheet of, this is a 4 1/4 by 5 no, this is a 4 by 5 1/4, and it's just what I'm going to be stamping my 4 ties on. So I just kind of gave myself a little hint that that's the one that I'm going to stamp on, because you have to cut down also this white one that's going to go on the inside of your card, because it's still going to be 5 1/4, but since we brought this measurement down to 4 1/8, we have to bring this measurement down to 3 7/8. So I didn't want to accidentally stamp on that, so I just made myself a little, I do this at class with my girls, I just give them a little nick, and then they know that's the card, that's the piece of paper that they stamp on. Okay, so we're gonna get those, and then we have our 3 colors that we're going to be using. Now I'm bringing out my Stampin' Spots here. Where did I get these Stampin' Spots? These Stampin' Spots came from my paper pumpkins. So each of the paper pumpkins, not only does it come with the kit with the embellishments and the card bases or whatever project, it also comes with the stamp set, and it also has spots in it. So for the $22 monthly subscription box with Paper Pumpkin, you're getting a stamp set, an ink pad, the kit itself, and the ink pads and the ink pads and the stamp set are going to be around forever once you've used up everything in the kit. So I'm using these because they're really nice to use with the Stamparatus. So what I did with this card is I put my tie on here. Now I just happened to put the middle of the collar and the tip of the tie. I just went up 1/2 inch and over 1/2 inch. So that's just, You can gauge it with the markings, the grid there. So I just went over a 1/2 inch and went up a 1/2 inch. And then I'm just going to put my cardstock in there, up in the corner there. Now you can also leave it, you don't have to use the corner on a Stamparatus. I just prefer to do that, but you can put it anywhere because it's gonna stay in position wherever you put the magnet. Now I'm gonna put this up here in the corner and put my magnet down, and I'm going to be stamping the 4 different colors using the tie. And I'm going to use a technique called hinge stamping, which is an exclusive thing that Stampin' Up's Stamparatus has, is that you can lift up the plates and go down on the hinge on these sides here. So what we're going to do, and I'll show you how neat it is to use. I'm going to get my dies out of the way here. And then I'm just going to take one of my stamp sets, and maybe we'll just take the well-dressed one here. And if you put your stamp set, it's the perfect height to fit right in there. So we're gonna start off, let's take a look at our card here. We're gonna start with our red tie first. So take my Poppy Parade, and I'm going to ink up. And you see, it's a lot easier to ink with these little spots, because sometimes I'll get my bigger ink pad and I'll hit these edges. But if you do, you know, hit those edges, just take have a good eye when you're using your Stamparatus, because sometimes you will get ink on places that you don't realize it might be over here, and then you touch it and you don't realize it, and then you touch your card. So we're going to put down the first tie, the Poppy Parade tie. Now, when you're using red rubber, you do not need to have this foam mat in here, but I prefer to put it in there just to give myself a little extra cushion, but it is not necessary. There we go. And we have got our red tie. Now we're going to want to clean off. I'll get my chamois out. You're going to wipe off your stamp because we're going to go to the next color, Crushed Curry. Now we're going to put this up perpendicular, pull it out, and we're going to go down one of the hinges. And now we're going to use the Crushed Curry. And when you, if you don't get paper pumpkin, all you do is buy the little 1x1 uninked cubes that we have. They're 1 inch by 1 inch, and then you just use your reinkers and make your own little spots. They really are handy. Okay, let's take a look. Looks pretty good to me. We're gonna close up that Crushed Curry. Then we're going to wipe off the Crushed Curry, and we're going to pull it up, go down a hinge, and then we're going to go to the Night of Navy. Then get that inked up there. It's always tricky when you're doing a solid red rubber surface. You want to make sure you get good coverage there. And then we're going to put down the Night of Navy tie. There we go. And there we go. We're going to lift it up one more time, bring it down one more hinge. We're going to remember to clean it off. It's the only thing when you're using multiple inks, just make sure you're cleaning them off in between. And now we're going to use the garden green spot. We're going to ink up that tie one more time to finish out the color palette on this card. Somebody was asking me about greens the other day, and I said, we have fabulous greens. I mean, garden green, call me clover, old olive, shaded spruce, mossy meadow. I said, so many. And she says, well, which one for Christmas? And I said, well, it depends on what look you're going for, because all the greens are perfect for Christmas. Okay, so sorry if I'm shaking the table there. Okay, so we have got our 4 ties on there, okay? Now I'm gonna clean off my tie one more time here so that it's tidy. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut this here. So what I'm going to do is bring my magnetic plate out with my Big Shot, put the stamp set aside, and then I'm just going to take my die and I'm going to put it around my, maybe you can see it better this way. I'm going to put it so it's got a nice border and equal. And then I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot. And I moved my Big Shot on my little rolly Rascog cart so it's closer to me. So I'm not rolling it on the floor anymore and yelling up to you at the table. So you just, when I came to how many I wanted to use on this card, the 4 ties, I just played around with how many ties would fit in which rectangle looked really nice. And then I usually just pull it off this way. There we go. And now I can pop it out of my rectangle die. Okay. All right. The next thing I wanted to do is I knew I had my card started, and then I wanted to put something around here that brought all those colors in. So I wanted to build up that rectangle here. So what I did is I played around with the sizes of these, and I came up with the best size being 1 3/8 an inch. Okay. So what I did is I just took these 3, 1 3/8, and I cut them at 5 1/2 so that I had room to then die cut like that. So what you're going to do is take some Scotch tape, and not necessarily right on the edges because you are going to have to cut through there, but you're just going to put some tape so that these 3 strips stay together when you run them through the Big Shot. But not necessarily on this side, because then the tape will also have to go through the cardstock as well. It shouldn't be a problem, but there you go. You have your 3 strips, and then you're going to put your die with the cut side down on the opposite side. Like I almost did this, that wouldn't have worked. You want to have it good side and then the die. And then what I did here is I also put that on my magnetic plate here. Of course, that's gonna make me crazy that the words are upside down. So there we go. We're gonna put, I wanted the red on the top. And then you just put your die so that you have about the same amount of red and green showing. But it really doesn't matter. But since I did the size 1 3/8 of an inch, if I leave enough of the red on this side and the green on this side, I knew I was going to have just about the right amount. So then you just take that, put your top plate on, and then I'm scooting back over to my Big Shot here. This is a really easy technique to add some color to your card and some texture. Just make, you know, three different striped areas, and then just tape them together. I made that on my gumball card with the snow globes. If you remember watching that video, that's how I made my black and white stripes. So let's get all of this scratch off there. And then you'll see that I now have my border. But I see that I just got a little anxious here and ripped a little quicker than I should have. So just trim off any of those little stragglers you have there. So now I have totally made a really fancy looking card there. Now on this card, I am going to pop up, but we're not going to do it yet because I'm going to show you how I made these happy birthdays and a really quick way to do this. So let's pop that aside and bring our Stamparatus back out. Okay, so we used the hinge technique when we stamped the tie. Now I'm going to take this plate, and you can have 1 plate, 2 plates, you can have 4 surfaces to use, but I just used the same one, and I put the happy birthday sentiment that I was going to use on the card. And so then I just took a piece of Whisper White and I put it in there, and then I marked the corner with an arrow up there, and then I just put my magnet in place, and then I inked up the happy birthday. Now I'm going to pop this ink, put this under here before I ink up, and then I'm going to stamp happy birthday on there. Doesn't have to be straight. And we have happy birthday on there. Now I'm going to take the die from the Country Club dies, this cute die here, and I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to go to my Big Shot, place it on my Big Shot, and run it through my Big Shot. When I'm done, I come back out with the die cut, negative, and the die cut that I just die cut. So I'm going to stick this back up in here and the reason why I put that arrow is that I knew exactly which way it goes in there. Then I just put that blank die cut there, and I went and I die cut just some blank white ones. You know all those little strips of white? I just went and I cut 3 blank strips, and then you just pop them back into, you just pop them into the hole that's made there. Okay, then, whoop, I almost inked this up. Remember this had Night of Navy on it. I'm afraid my die is going to get lost. I need to put that away because it's a thin one and a skinny one. It could have a way of getting lost. So we already did Night of Navy. So now we're going to do Garden Green. So I'm just going to do Garden Green. And all I did was I saved that negative and I put it back exactly where it's supposed to be. And then I inked this up, and now I'm just going to stamp again. And you're going to notice that it comes out perfectly. Now you can use take your pick tool. I have it popped over here because it's got that nice, so I'm going to put this back on. It's got that nice putty end onto it, and then I can just lift it right out of there. Then I want to make another color in red, and then I just pop another blank one in there. I mean, it's the same size, but there we go. And then I'm going to ink this happy birthday up again with Poppy Parade. Make sure I'm getting it there, okay. And then you close it again on that die cut that was just blank that I put into that hole, and perfect yet again. Pop that out. So now I have my 3 happy birthdays. So I'm going to clean this off. Now, some of you might think, oh, I'm going to save this for the next time I do this. But this template is only good for this stamp that's placed right here. If you take this stamp off, you have to redo the template, which is no big deal. So if I end up taking this off, putting it back in my stamp set, the next time I want to make multiples of happy birthday, I just make another template. But saving the template is really no good because it only fits where this is actually positioned. Because if, say, I have this set in here like this, and then I take this and I put it on again thinking I've got it in the right place, it might not fit exactly in that template. So now that I did that, this is no good. But a very easy way to do that. So you just stamp it, go die cut it, then you're going to have a hole. Then you have that hole, then you put a blank one in there and then stamp on those blank ones, and perfect every time. You can get so much done. So even if you're not doing this card, maybe you think to yourself, oh, I want to do an extra 12 of these happy birthdays in black, and then I'll just stick them in the set and I know they're there. Or if you know you're going to use this clubhouse and it has that paper, just do a few more of them. So really quick way of doing a whole bunch of multiple stamps images. We used it for hinge stamping here and multiple images there. Okay, so we are going to put our Stamparatus, oh gosh, such a great tool. So now we want to come back to this card and see what we're going to be doing here. Now another little trick I did on this card, I'm going to set this aside here, is I wanted to put, I started playing with, oh, should I put this up here? Oh, and like I said, I wasn't sure what color. Do I just want to put it just a singular one, which looks nice. And then I said, well, should it maybe be, you know, I put it there, which you easily could do. You could also put your happy birthday there. And then I thought, well, maybe I could put my happy birthday there. Where do I want to put it? And then all of a sudden I thought, wait, that's really cute having the triple there. So what I did is I put the first one, which is, I kind of, if you look at the colors, you see red, blue, yellow. And then the green, you don't have any of them touching. They're all touching different colors. So I didn't put the red with the red, and I didn't put the green on the green. I kind of staggered the colors, and I thought that was kind of cute. So what I did is I wanted to put the first one, and I wanted to see where the bottom of the tie knot. So then I just took my dimensionals, and I made little skinny, used these little skinny edges here on the bottom, of course, because we never throw those away. I had a new lady at stamp class one time, and she threw away the corner thing, and somebody went, whoa, 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 honey, you don't throw that away. We use that. And she's like, oh, okay. So that was so cute. Okay, so I am going to put this one on first. And what I did is I just wanted it to have, like, to be right under the knot. And I placed it inside the stitching. Now, to get the next one, you have to kind of go down here with the red one. So what I did is I have a bunch of these. I bought these for a class one time, but these are just see-through. I bought them on Amazon, like, for next to nothing. And I can see through the paper. So what I did was I just measured how far it was, and it was at 3/4 of an inch, okay? So from here at the top of my die to my stitched edge, it's 3/4 of an inch. So what I did on the bottom here is I went up I went to 3/4 an inch, so I know I'm at the same amount of space, and I want to put this red one on. Now I'm going to move that back here, but I need an extra hand here. And then we're going to put, yeah, that would be nice to have an extra hand. My daughter is going to nurse anesthesia school today, and I was watching, she came over this morning, and I was watching a video with her. It was really cool. And the video was showing the, how to, insert a certain tube. And it was saying, and your assistant will have that hand. She goes, nope, there's no extra hand. It's only my hands, Mom. And then another assistant will do this. She goes, no, it's only our hands. So if I had an assistant, that would be great, but you don't. So this is the quick way to do it. You put that there, and you're at 3/4 of an inch. And I know that's the top spot. Okay? Well, all I have to do is make sure that my I really do need an assistant here. Archie and Lucy are here, but I don't think they would be very helpful. Okay, let's keep this in place here. I just want to make sure that this edge over here that's going to be along the right side is about the same distance from the stitched edge. Okay, so here we go. And I just need to put... Okay, I really do need an extra hand here. Why was it easy the first time I did this? Probably because I'm not doing a video, right? So I know my line is there, and I want to have about the same amount. I know what I was doing last time. I had my tweezers, and that's what was making it so easy. Okay, so 3/4 an inch up, and then I know that's the line there, so I just kind of keep my eye on it. And I go over to about the same distance there, and I've got my happy birthday there. So that's just a way, like, if you're fanatical about keeping things even the way I am, that's just an easy way to do that. Just always go from the top down and then the bottom up, and you could have just left that, but I had to put the third one on. Just get another strip here and put that. I was really glad they came out with a guy set for Sale-a-bration. And I thought, this is a really cute one. Now this one, all you really have to do is gauge the same space under the blue and above the red, and just have it go halfway in between, and then just have the two, the right side and the left side be over the ties about the same amount. And of course, because I'm doing this on video, I can't see as well as you can. Okay, so there we go. We've got our 3 sentiments on there, and we're just going to now put it onto our card. So let's take our card here and put this on here. We're going to put some snail on the back where we have it all taped together. There we go. And we put this onto our card base. And remember, we cut down the width of the card to 4 1/8 so that it has a nice border around it. And the reason why I put the red up here is I like the red that way, coming down that way. And then I put dimensionals on the back of this. I just thought it needed a little bit of pop up there. And I put some in the corner, 4 corners. And then I'm just going to stagger 2 on this inside. Put those dimensionals back, so next time I'm not looking for them. And then we'll just take off our really neat way to do that too is to do that with the tip of your paper piercer, your U-pick tool. So here we go. Put that on there so you have the same amount of border going around. And there you go. Is that cute or what? So on the inside, I just used some of the images that are also in that set. And I just pulled those little guys out, and I love the watch. And I just did that in garden green. Whoop. Afraid I'm going to drop that there. And I just kind of popped that on the inside. Made sure the watch was going the right way. And then there's a one of those fountain pens, and I used the Poppy Parade on the fountain pen. These are these little images that have the fine etching in. These little spots are perfect for those. And then, since we are going to see the Knight of Navy when we open the card, and then if I use the crushed curry for the set of keys, make sure they're going the same right way too. And then I just put the crushed curry keys there. And that way, let's get this out of the way. Turn this over. Put some adhesive in the 4 corners. And then I have this thing when I make cards and I'm using certain colors. I like to have all the colors represented. And so what I did on this card, since I had that, like I said, the Knight of Navy is the card base, you see navy, crushed curry, Poppy Parade, and garden green. When you open it, you see the same colors on the outside. So that really actually is a very simple card to make. You're just going to use your hinging on your Stamparatus to place your ties, and then I used it to do multiples of the happy birthday. So there we go, a really quick, fun, bright card using the new well-dressed stamp set that's available with a $50 purchase for free during Sale-a-bration that goes till March 31st. So I hope you enjoyed this and you'll give this a try here. Super cute card. I know actually this card is going, my daughter-in-law sent me a text last night and said, hey, I need a male birthday card and a female birthday card. Usually I get those texts the night before, but this time I got 2 weeks notice. So this is going to her new boss. She's loving the new place she's working. And so this is going to be a perfect card for him. So if you have any questions, just go to my blog, CindyLeeBDesigns.com, and you'll see all the descriptions and colors and products I used. If you have any questions, you can always call me or text me at 724-323-2296. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.